You know what I would like to tell you all about tonight? How much I hate waiting around to see if I'm gonna pinch hit for him today.
They used to say to Lauren Michaels, they're like, here's this crazy guy that has been in all these nut houses. He's done more, he's opened your show more times than anyone. The most important turf in comedy. You're entrusting to this crazy person. And he said, danger calms him down somehow.
I think there's a certain group of us that only feel alive when standing on knife point. That level of focus that's required from that brings some people up and tears other people apart. In sports, they'd call them a big game player.
This is bad! They're closing in! We're gonna lose Singh! Jensen, I can't reach him!
I never believed in God until I saw my daughter. I had an attitude, yo. I had a fucking attitude my whole life. I know everything. Until
Jensen, this
I saw
sandstorm might have just bought us some time, but you need to disable that chopper.
a head,
Copy that.
a human head, emerge from someone's body.
The love of my daughter and the time that we spent together was making me feel things other people felt. I could leave her and be in a good mood. I never felt anything akin to pure love. In some ways it was almost scary.
The worst thing that ever happened to me was seeing fear in my daughter's eyes.
Oh, I hugged her. I was drinking. And she saw it for the first time. And didn't recognize the speech pattern. Didn't understand the smell. I saw fear in her eyes, and I've only seen trust and happiness. And that attracted me.
I decided that I would do, whatever. For that to never happen.
Miller, chopper's
Again.
been grounded. Repeat.
Jensen! You're welcome.
I cut myself suicidally for the first and only time in my life. In the fall of 2010, I drank a vat.
Artificial eyes and
actually, it's more like a
prosthetic
Rubbermaid garbage can
human control
full of
evolution
absinthe.
available to all.
And I thought it would be a good idea to sew my arm
Will
off
merge with machine.
with a large kitchen knife. And my friends thought it might be an even better idea if I were locked away in a nut house. And that's kind of what happened. I'm in another ambulance, you know, they're like, there's the guy on fucking TV. I mean, well, Jesus, don't take any fucking chances with this fucking guy. Find my fucking ambulance. For a while now, I'd been feeling sort of like a cow might feel standing in line at the slaughterhouse. Just standing there patiently, every once in a while, moving a little forward. Like, I knew that my death was coming. I knew it was coming. I was just too tired to care.
Damn
If you had said, find out what happened,
Here, let me help you
but
with
you're
that,
gonna
ma'am.
get killed, I'd say, I'll do it. I would.
Man? Seriously?
We could have gone with Sweetie. You get my message about Dubai?
Yeah.
So I got sent to this
Glad
big
you're all right,
castle
Adam.
upstate
That ambush
where
sounded
there's
pretty
this
bad, man.
Not something I was expecting.
world
that's for
famous
sure.
doctor. And he comes in.
Any idea
he
who he
goes,
is?
Well, I'm sure your task force will come up with something. And that it won't be what the Juggernaut Collective digs up.
Jukeboxes, yes. He's like, yeah. He's like, 9
Kinda odd,
psychiatric
though, don't you think?
facilities, including
Interpol
lockdown.
sending your team,
Like,
the
yeah,
Prague team, to Dubai in the first
you are
place.
schizophrenic.
Mueller said they were scrambling.
You are
Last minute intel. We were the only strike team available.
You are
Yeah,
borderline
that's a lie.
personality. A multiple person. He goes, well, let's face it.
Better get
You
moving.
are not. He made me laugh. He's like,
The collective
I'm
has been
laughing.
keeping
I'm
tabs on all
joking
task
with
force
you
divisions
because
ever
you're
since we
not
slipped
any of
into
these
one of them.
things. You are
They've got a team in
this way
Oman.
because of
They're a hell of a
something
lot
that
faster than
happened.
you guys.
So why send us?
You have a story that's not diagnosed.
If the task force is an Illuminati front, we all suspect.
When I came
Doesn't
to
make
in
much sense to
the
send it into
hospital,
an
I remember I
ambush.
didn't really kind of know where I was.
Unless they
Didn't
wanted
have
our
any
team
cigarettes
to
or money or anything.
Officially.
He had me for 3
Come
months. Saw my every
Prepara
move.
questi papiri.
And I remember saying to him, my brain is broken.
He said,
What it's telling you to do is to take the
Make a
aircraft
scene.
and nose dive
Dream
into
of it,
the
Alex.
ground. So we're going to figure out why. That's where they admit the patients. See my room?
This is
There's my
what we
room
say.
right there. Those 2 windows.
I swear it's gotten even worse here in the
Nice,
past
huh?
few days. Everyone looking over their shoulder. Terrified Augs like us are going to attack them again.
Somebody probably will.
Promise, huh?
Treat people like animals long enough, they'll start acting like animals.
Because that's the one who had the
You
most.
say that like there's nothing we could do to stop it.
I already tried 2 years ago. Didn't work out so well.
So what?
there was
Are you saying we should just give up? Let hatred and prejudice take over?
I asked
To
her if I
hell
could
with
bum a
that.
cigarette.
I'm saying
She
I can
said,
only
"You
go after
sure
enemies
can,
I see,
Joe." And I
Alex.
was like, what is this,
The
Joe?
men who
And she
caused all
points to
this,
my
the
wristband.
true power brokers,
She
they're
said,
the
"Joe
ones I need to
Monteleone."
stop. I thought you
So
knew.
apparently I checked in. It's Joe Monteleone.
I do. You, me, the Juggernaut
was leaning
Collective. We're
against
all
this
trying
tree.
to stop them. It doesn't mean
And
turning
she
a blind
handed
eye.
it
Then help me
to
find
I
them.
took a drag, handed it back, and I said, thank you so much. And she said, no problem, Joe. And she thought for a second. And you said thank you again? I said, thank you? And she said, yeah. Now I said like Bill Clinton.
Just watch yourself, Glenn.
It's because you went to many doctors and then you end up saying, wait a minute, this is not working.
hate this
These labels don't make sense
Come on.
to me. And then you start from scratch.
If you're right
It's
about
also
Dubai,
relieving
about the Illuminati
when
needing
somebody
your
goes,
team as
"Oh, wait,
witnesses,
he
then we need to
knows."
find out why.
He knows.
I think I was successful in having
Who gave you the order to
attachment,
mobilize?
in having
Miller did. But it
shown
probably
that
came from
I
someone higher
cared
up the
and I
chain.
respected.
To
Doesn't
get
mean
up
he's not
inside
in on it.
someone's head
Ever heard of the NSN?
and
A neural subnet, sure.
inspect what's
And TF-29 directors use it to plan ops and communicate privately in cyberspace.
especially with someone
What's
who
this?
has never
Whisper
really
chip,
trusted
custom-made
anyone.
wiretap device.
It's sort of like when you go to the
Janus designed it to
chiropractor,
fit
you're, like,
inside the
racing for
NSN's
him
motherboard.
to make
The
adjustment,
elusive Janus,
and you're like,
leader of the
and then he tricks you
hacktivists.
into relaxing.
Am I ever gonna meet this guy?
Someday,
Something like that.
maybe. Right now, you need to
Childhood
concentrate on
trauma
Miller. Find a way
changes
to
the
access the
wiring of
NSN's
the
motherboard.
brain. Think of it, someone who has been abused by someone who's supposed to protect them. The logic is gone, and that's how your brain tries to create a new identity, sort of, to be able to tolerate that insight to the brain.
Alex,
And what it manifests is depression, insomnia, irritability, the inability to forge sustainable relationship. Then you start to self-medicate. Alcohol is one, it's legal,
hear that?
but then you go to marijuana, and then you go to benzos, and then before you know it, you go to uppers because you have to go to
careful.
work, and then you
We'll
go to
talk.
downers, and then you go to the opiates. One of the worst things that I've seen in trauma victims is that they blame themselves. They learn to know that they are bad, because why would they be abused by their protectors? They must have done something wrong, especially child trauma.
There were a few things that I remember. For instance, I remember my hands being slammed on doors. But over the years, in my
Stand back, let me
mind,
help.
I thought I did that. The problem must be you. It must be you. In fact, it wasn't me. It was really just a trauma survivor. But I didn't know that. You know, and that was, boy, you know, play any operatic music you want for that moment in your life, and you're like, what? You know, waiting your whole life to do that. See you again.
My soul knew all along what my mind did not let itself know or let me know. The mind is a miraculous creation. My wife got pregnant, baby was born. And then I heard my wife say, your mom called. And she said, hey, I said, Mommy, you're gonna need some breaks. So she said she would take the baby. My soul knew all along what had happened, and I didn't know until my child's life was now on the line. Not till then did the part of me where God lives rear up. And snot started coming out of my nose, started to throw up. All of a sudden, images saved up, locked and stored until a time when I was strong enough to deal with them. My mom slamming my hands in the door and hitting me with a hammer. That's where the abdominal injury came out. I remember my hand being pushed into an exposed light socket. And I distinctly remember her pulling her hand away before my hand went in. And she had tortured me for, I guess, a number of years. But that wasn't all. My brain was saving one more thing for me.
Open blinds.
Good morning, Adam. You have one new message.
From?
David Starrett.
Play it.
The thing that Dr. K kept coming back to with me was that I color-coded all my characters. From the time you were a child, you would think the color or you would feel it. I would say I would feel it. And what color was Porky the Pig?
I'm leaving for London.
Yellow? Bugs the Bunny. Aqua?
You saved
Color-coded all of them, but you never
Yes,
used
Adam.
red.
Just activate your TV system.
Obviously having an aversion to red. Where was red in your world when you were growing up?
As you
Dr.
wish.
K is breaking it down, saying, well, where's the red coming from? Where in your life was there red? There had to be red somewhere. And then towards the end, as the flashbacks got more sophisticated, then it was like, I don't know if it was a window, it was in a square, so he sort of took the leap and went
European-based
red
construction
in a
giant, the
square.
Santa.
It says right here, doctors 39 through 35. You said there was a red coming through the window. There has to be red
Sir.
somewhere. There has to be a
I heard
window
about the
somewhere.
bombing.
Help me, help me.
All over the news.
Red.
Did anyone you know get hurt?
Where was red?
You know me.
Hibiscus
Tend to
bush?
keep to myself. I'm surprised you even know I'm here.
Interpol called me when you applied for the job. On their extensive
Hibiscus
background checks, I gave you a glowing recommendation.
Thanks.
In the window.
What do you
No
want?
doubt.
What do I want? Jeez, Adam. I know I did some questionable things in the past, but a lot's happened in the last 2 years. To both of us.
It's on your tongue. My tongue. No. I don't know. And I ran into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and there was a little cut in the middle of my tongue, just kind of winking out at me. And I started hearing the sound of wind rushing. And I went back out there and I said, I don't know what that is. We both acted like something else was occurring. You know, she's like, stand here. And she spoke in a sweet, motherly, musical tone.
You was just when you open your mouth and you do that. Okay.
So where we used to sit, we kids. Came every week for, I don't know, how many years. My mom, she was loved and admired. She was that angel, and then her eyes would change, and it was like someone else was looking out of her skull at you. Like, you would look at me, and it would be your eyes, but it wouldn't be your eyes. It'd be someone else in there, you know. And she had that. I'm probably the only one that really saw that. After I got stabbed, I went to live in an apartment complex about a mile from here where my grandparents live. I'll never forget eating cream corn that night. Cream corn, because I couldn't chew food. And I remember I threw it up because I didn't chew it. Plus I'd swallowed a lot of blood. She was only contained and she had to reroute. She had to reroute her dark energies. She just went about being destructive in a different way. Where I come from, the arch enemy, the fiend, is the truth. The whole idea that someone does these terrible things to you and expects you not to tell. They just expect it. Is astonishing. And I've said, and will always say, the worst crime is being expected not to tell. When someone is abusing someone, torturing them, raping them, they want the person they're doing it to act like something else is occurring.
If you cannot tell the truth, you need to lock that reality away. And that reality starts festering inside of you. It becomes what Freud's already said, a splinter in your mind, a splinter in your brain, a splinter in your soul that starts festering. And so anything that cannot be spoken becomes an eternal danger to yourself.
Had someone bothered to stop what was happening to me, someone could have said, your son sits on the railroad tracks and I want to talk to you. Or, your son has abdominal injuries again and I want to talk to you. I didn't have to cut myself 49 times in my life. I have a 49. See, when I was about 7, I discovered that my mother could talk like other people. To me, it seemed like she actually became them. She seemed enraptured by it. And it was the only time I saw her laugh freely. So I started asking her to do voices. And one day she was listening to a record, a Christmas carol. She started to talk like the record.
Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
I'm back. And a few days later, I walked up to her while she was playing the piano, Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, as usual. And I tapped her on the shoulder. And I said, ha ha, Merry Christmas, Uncle. And then I said, ba, hamtak. She stopped playing, and she turned to me, and she said, do that again. Merry Christmas, Uncle. The love that she pointed toward the rest of the world all the time was aimed right at me now. And I thought, I'm on to something here. The last thing she said to me was, you were always my good buddy, before checking to see if anyone was watching. Otherwise, if they hadn't been watching, she would have said, like, this is what you're
personalities. Like that's her voice. She would have a southern accent, and then the voice would drop. Is this one of your personalities? And I was like, did you see that? Did you guys see that? Did you? She would make that mistake.
When your reality is not allowed to be seen and to be known, that is
You've obviously landed on your
when
feet,
people have
though.
a memory of trauma,
Unlike a lot of other
they
people.
see the face of the person.
I've been lucky.
They smell
I almost
the
died
smell
in
of the
Panche
person.
waiting for the
They
rescue teams to
feel
dig me out.
the
And I lost a
horrifying
lot of time
feelings in
after
their
recovering
body.
from my
I
injuries.
said it's an undigested
Detroit, you saw what happened
The
to
sound
Sarah
is still
Industries.
there, and
I gotta
it's
look
stored
at it
somewhere,
briefly.
and the visual imprint is
Humanity
stored
was
somewhere,
afraid of the potential
and
we offered.
certain
They lashed out,
triggers
broke into the
can
building,
reinstate
stole what they
the
could,
sound
burned
of
the
the
rest.
And you hear them
Vultures
again.
that tie young
You see them
gobble.
again. So these are not really memories. These are just is an activation of a fragment of something of the past.
As a
Your message-
child, I can't look at
Santa.
that.
They built the Udalek complex.
I can't look at that person walking over here with a knife or a hammer and say, my mom's gonna stab me. And she's gonna leave me in a park in Jackson. When you're 5, you can't see that, or you'll die. It's the brain's brilliant response to things you can't handle. They looked at my brain once on this brain imagery thing. They showed both sides of my brain. The left side of my brain was virtually dark. The right side of my brain was Times Square. I mean, and I was like, why don't I have any lights on this left side of my brain? The guy goes, that is the side of your brain that is for logic, perspective, organization.
Natural parts of the body have to do with the immune system start breaking down, so you get more prone to develop immune illnesses. Your body is a constant state of agitation, so you're more likely to develop heart disease. You hate your body, you hate what happens in your body, so you're more likely to become obese. You don't care about yourself because nobody cares about you, so you don't take care of yourself.
It's good to finally hear from you, Agent. You doing okay?
Positive,
Sorry about the downtime.
to inject yourself
I'll get to
with
the
drugs,
office as soon as I
and to
can, but
assault
my
other
ox took a
people.
hit during the attack.
This is
I need to
largely
get them looked at.
reducible to
Of course. There's a lot of work ahead of us, Jensen. I'll see you when you get in.
And alcoholism are first cousins.
Dr. Kohler, I need to pay you a visit.
Jensen! Now's actually a really good time for me, like right now.
Something wrong?
There are some guys in my
all
bookshop.
given me
Pissed off the
percentages.
violent gangster-looking
And the
guys.
percentages
So,
vary a little,
unless you want
but the
bloodshed
percentages
the
are
day after
super
a terror
high.
attack.
The
You
front.
know, according to statistics from, for instance, Betty Porter Hazelton, that, oh, by the way, I had, you know, you're an alcoholic or you're a drug addict and you've been drinking for years. Oh, and by the way, surprise, surprise, you have trauma. And it's probably emotional trauma,
Door is the
physical
most peaceful
trauma.
option. I got it.
And just as often as not, it's non-consensual sex that's blowing these nervous systems out of the water.
And exhale.
Apparently, the issues are in the tissues. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that ever did you wrong is still in your system. All those experiences.
We know how to treat trauma. That's very important. It's not like we have no alternatives, let me just take drugs. But doing things like yoga and mindfulness meditation can actually rewire the brain. Engaging your own body is an absolutely necessary part of healing. You cannot be passive, just sit in a chair and not take care of your body and truly heal from trauma.
Love how you're directing that breath. Full, generous breathing.
There is not one answer. Everybody needs to discover what the answer is for them, what the right method is for them.
I started coming here and Sonic started to sleep. I don't know, hypervigilance. It could happen again. 5 to 7 nights, I'm sleeping. It's a miracle. But then the divine in me still looks explaining. Yeah, do you think there is such a place?
Is it benign?
I guess so.
How are you, sir? Good. Pleasure. Nice to see you.
You've been for a good long while. Yeah, it's only been about 2 or 3 years since you've really been able to talk about it. What has that experience been like?
It feels great. Recently, a woman in Sarasota came to me, like in tears, and said that my book saved her daughter's life.
Sorry.
But, you know, that's... I've met and performed for 4 American presidents, and those are high honors. But it's kind of hard to top someone who's been so bad at so many things simply by telling that story, and then someone gets to live. And I remember when my father was dying, it was a military funeral, it was crap. And I thought, you know what, man?
I guess so.
I'm gonna do it.
How are they taking it?
Ah, yeah. Because I was like, I felt like anyone that's ever known teared up. So I'm trying not to be. If you've ever known a soldier, you know, someone has to do that job. Same with cops. You know, I've had my life saved by cops since I was on SNL. I mean, one of the reasons why I had to leave it so long. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. Trying to tell my story, and she's moving me behind the VIP reception. That's all I have is my story.
I guess so.
I ain't telling my fucking story to nobody. You know, forget it.